Start with the premise that Gavin Newsom has no ideology at all. He's a leftist because he was brought up by the Getty family as a surrogate son who financed his business projects, and he was the son of a appellate court judge, and he was affluent, and he was a Nepo baby. And then he went, he had the money and he had the connections to Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer, Jerry Brown, Willie Brown, Nancy Pelosi was related to him by Mary, all the people that have power. So they groomed him. You know, he had a drinking problem, he was an adulterer, he had all these certain things he did, but he didn't really ever craft or think about a political agenda at all. I mean, he said he was going to solve homeless. $10 billion, completely got worse. Everything he's touched, he has the reverse Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to dross. Fire, California has gone up 3 times in major blazes. The high-speed rail, it's hopeless. It's burning in Los Angeles. We had the solar plant in the desert, it's being dismantled. We had the Monterey batteries factory, storage for solar panel, it's blown up twice. The 99 in its 4-lane choke points is deadly. I-5 down the whole west side is only 2 lanes in each direction. It hasn't changed in 60 years. There's places that the 101 or 2, you go down on the way to Monterey or Carmel from the Bay Area, you get in those choke points. And then going down to LA, there's choke points. So he didn't address any of our problems, and those that he addressed, he made it worse.
This stuff Victor is talking about is really the central issue. This is not just about personality, slogans, or whether someone sounds polished on television. At some point, politics has to be measured by results. Are the roads better? Is housing more affordable? Are people safer? Are schools improving? Are taxpayers getting anything close to what they are paying for? Because if the answer is no, then the branding does not matter. A leader can reinvent himself every few months, shift tone, copy opponents, or chase whatever the polls suggest, but none of that fixes the real problems people live with every day. Competence is not a message, it is a record, and once the record is exposed, style can only cover it for so long.
Highest taxes in the nation, highest gas taxes, highest electricity prices, some of the worst test scores, but high cost per pupil. He doesn't talk about any of that. So now he just puts his finger in the wind every week and says, I don't have any ideas, but everybody's starting to hate Trump. I'll get a team that kind of emulates Trump, but they'll be just as uncouth, we'll use foul words, we'll use capital letters, and then people got angry at that. I'm going to hit him in the mouth. He did the Robert De Niro shtick. And then he kind of dropped that, and then they said, you know, when you look at the field, there's not a moderate. Why don't you be a moderate for a while? So he had Charlie Kirk on his podcast. He had Steve Bannon. That's kind of been dropped now. So then they said, no, we got scratch that. Everybody's going left wing. AOC's may run for president. Kamala is going to go more left wing. Buttigieg's. You've got to, don't let anybody be to your left in California. So they did that. And then he looked at their polls, and they're very unpopular. And then somebody whispered in his ear, I think I told you the right thing as to you'll be the only moderate. You can be in between Fetterman and Kamala and practical. Just say, do the Mike Dukakis thing. It's not about ideology, it's just competence. We can't do that because he's incompetent. But that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to say, 2 weeks ago, Trump was Lucifer, Satan. Now, he's kind of got some middle-class ideas like Bernie. So,
Victor Hanson leaves the audience with a brutal but simple point. Gavin Newsom's biggest problem is not just ideology, personality, or political strategy. It is competence. Hanson paints Newsom as a politician who constantly changes his image depending on the moment, trying to be anti-Trump one week, moderate the next, and more progressive whenever the political winds demand it. But none of those reinventions answer the basic question voters eventually ask. What did you actually fix? That is why the criticism cuts deeper than normal political attacks. Hanson is not merely saying Newsom is ambitious or inconsistent. He is saying that when Newsom had power, the major problems in California became worse, not better. Homelessness, infrastructure, taxes, energy costs, education, and public safety are presented as proof that style cannot replace results. In the end, Hanson's message is that political performance has limits. You can polish the image, change the message, and chase the next trend, but the record remains. And when people compare the promises to the reality, the problem becomes impossible to hide. Leadership is not about sounding competent. It is about proving it.